Studios in downtown Little Rock. This is Capitol View.
And welcome to Capitol View. I'm Roby Brock. We appreciate you joining us. Well, it has been a busy legislative session, particularly on the higher education front. That was one of the biggest things that happened in this last regular session of the legislature. I'm joined now by Dr. Houston Davis, president of the University of Central Arkansas. And he and I have been on a podium together a stage together this week and talking about a lot of things in higher education. Welcome and thanks for being here.
Always proud to be here. Good to see you.
Let's go ahead and just start there. You and I were in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah.
You're the University of Central Arkansas, but we were in Northwest Arkansas talking about a variety of a variety of higher education issues. Why was UCA in Northwest Arkansas?
Yeah, well, we like to think that the University of Central Arkansas is central to Northwest Arkansas, and we know that we are a valuable asset to that region, and certainly we get students from all 75 counties, and we send our alumni to all 75 counties, and that is absolutely true.
Yep.
Of that corridor and that pocket of our state. There's a tremendous amount of energy, there's a lot of economic development, and we're proud to be a part of it. And this week, the Northwest Arkansas Blitz by UCA was in many ways lifting up the things that we're doing, because you never want to be a best kept secret. We want to make certain to announce that we're going to continue to grow those partnerships.
Yeah, so you and I were on the stage with Dr. Charles Robinson from the University of Arkansas, the chancellor there, Dr. Dennis Riddle, the president of the Northwest Arkansas Community College, NWAC as we call it. We were talking about some aspects of access, the governor's overhaul of higher education. Tell me what you think is the most beneficial thing to have come out of that particular new law.
Yeah, I think that the thing I'm most excited about is a lot of access is about the connections between K-12 and higher education. It's thinking about that continuum. It's thinking about, is there a seamless progression of students and citizens through those systems? And it's about breaking down barriers that might exist to participation, especially on the post-secondary end of that. I love the fact that we're going to be involved in dialogue with K-12 about breaking down those barriers. I also, and we talked about this some this week, I love that there's a nod to what's the non-credit activity. We shouldn't have to have just traditional degree opportunities for citizens. We know there are a lot of certificates, there are a lot of credentials, certifications that have value in the workforce. We need to make certain, whether it be universities or community colleges, that we're positioning ourselves to meet those needs too.
Can anybody who wants to go to college afford to go to college?
I believe that's true. One of the things I made a comment to a couple colleagues, I love that on that panel between myself and Chancellor Robinson and President Riddle, you could approach any of our three institutions, and between the three, we could probably serve that citizen with not only a high quality program, but an affordable option. One of the things, for instance, that we're doing is making certain that we're meeting families' needs through our UCA commitment program. Graduates of out of high school, if their family makes below $100,000, they can look to us and we'll find support for them to make certain they don't have to take out a loan to be able to pursue their degree. But across the entire continuum, I think that we get in this national myth about being priced out of higher education, and there certainly are those folks that speak to hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt to pursue a degree. That is not the story of Arkansas public higher education, whether it be University of Central Arkansas, University of Arkansas, or NWAC, and those were the examples this week. There are very affordable, high quality opportunities. No one should have to go into mountains of debt to be able to pursue their degree.
One of the things that came out of that forum that we were all on stage about and that I thought was very interesting, I want you to touch on this, is the fact that in Arkansas, the chancellors and the presidents of all of the 32 colleges and universities, you guys meet regularly and you collaborate regularly, and that does not happen in other states. Speak to that to me.
It doesn't. Some know that I worked in Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Georgia prior to being here in Arkansas, and it doesn't happen that all of the presidents and chancellors in those states can just get in the same room and think about, well, where are our common interests? Where are those things that we know if we work together, we'll obviously be able to move that ball further. That happens on the regular. We have what we call it the P's and C's. It's our Presidents and Chancellors Council that meets regularly, not just during legislative session. We meet throughout the year around a number of subjects. And I do love that we know each other. And when there is something we need to work on, it's not like we're getting to know each other to work that puzzle. We already have a great relationship. And how can we really springboard forward into making some great progress?
What happens next? Access is in law now, but there will be regulations and some things that will have to be worked out. What will you be watching the closest?
Probably the one thing I'll be watching the closest is actually chair the funding formula task force. I know that our group is going to be looking at the ROI components of access. It's looking at how will some elements of measuring return on investment, citizens, what is their investment in their education versus how long does it take to be able to get a full return on that. Appreciate Dr. Ken Warden and the ADHE staff. They've laid the groundwork for our exploration of that. We'll be dropping that in as a component of our funding formula. That's how all of the public institutions are awarded their dollars based on their performance. That's something that I'm watching very closely, and it's going to be exciting because the reality is, at UCA, for instance, we feel very good about the fact that our students, our economic impact studies have shown that within 5 years, students are getting full return on their investment. Everything from year 6 all the way through the remainder of their career is icing on the cake. So we're excited about where we're going to stand as we start thinking about measuring up and looking program by program at that, because we know in the aggregate we perform very well.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting. I enjoyed the week with you. I appreciate you guys letting me be a part of that panel discussion there. It was a very productive, I think, and informative conversation. So I enjoyed
exciting.
it. So.
Appreciate you being a part of it. It's important work. We're proud to do what we do.
All right. Dr. Houston Davis, President of the University of Central Arkansas. Good to visit with you. Thanks
Always,
for being
sir.
here.
Thank you.
All right.